Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Drift Cars Japan. Although I may not be featuring many drift cars, but that's an old company name that I had about nearly 20 years ago now, and I've still used the same YouTube channel name. But this is my current build at the moment. It's a 2008 FN2 Civic Type R. It's got about 160,000 Ks on it. I paid $6 for it with rego. I want to keep it as a driver on the streets, so a certain mod will dictate what we do due to having it still on the road, but this will be building it on a budget. Now I'm trying to get away with spending under 10 grand to get this ready for racing. So far, like, I bought the car pretty stock. It had a different set of wheels on it to what's on it now, but I've put a carbon fibre bonnet, which I got pretty cheap. I just put the little air intake scoop on it. Under the bonnet we've got pretty standard, it's got an engine intake. Let me just bonnet up. So we've got an engine intake. Obviously it's not a cold air intake, but it was on the car when I bought it, so why spend money if I don't need to? That's why I put the scoop on it. We're going to try and get as much cold air in there as possible. Plus I've got a whole bunch of this silicon type hose which we're going to run ducting up underneath the car, and plus that's also for brakes as well. Try and keep the brakes cool on the thing because it's only got the factory brakes on it at the moment. Apart from that, the motor's dead standard really. I've done a Tagawa radiator, alloy radiator, done an AC delete on it. If you want to know the belt to do the AC delete on it, it's 7PK 1290 is the belt that you need, which is just like a Gates brand or any generic brand that's that length. I say it's a little bit of weight, probably only maybe 3 or 4 kilos all up. The best part about it is you get rid of the condenser in front of the radiator, help with airflow over the radiator, etc. We've changed plugs on it, done the brakes, put the .5 full synthetic brake fluid in it. It's got a set of hard race adjustable coilovers on it, which you just can't quite see there. I'll have some better shots of them later. They cost me $1,400 for the set. I tossed up between them or BC Racing, but I found the hard race ones had better spring rates, especially for track use. They might be a little bit firm on the street, but they were virtually the same price. And this is not one of those cars I want to put a set of $3,000 shocks and springs in it, because it's supposed to be cheap and enjoyable. Got a set of Work Emotion wheels for it. These are the track ones which I'll be using, which are 17 by 8.5, and they've currently got the Bridgestone Potenzas RE003s on them. I'll use them up until we wear them out, then we'll go for some semi-slicks. I've got a set of Procast wheels on it now, just for the driving on the street. It's got intimate front pads on it, it's got braided brake lines. Someone's painted the calipers on the car, so there's red paint everywhere underneath, but that's what happens when you buy the car off a young person. We've done a battery relocation. We've put the battery in behind the passenger seat here. It's got a cap fire extinguisher bracket on it, a bunch of gauges, just got oil pressure and oil temp, and also air fuel ratio gauge, plus a battery cutoff. It's just easy to have it up there on the dash. I'll show you the battery relocation we've put in the back here. It's quite a nice bracket from the UK. I'll just grab a torch so we can see it a bit better. But that's the bracket there. So it's better for weight distribution. I was going to put the battery right down the back there, but for carrying spare wheels and stuff like that, it's a pain in the ass having the battery in the back there. It's just, you constantly hit the terminals and stuff like that. It's not what I want. So the kids are having wobblies out the front as usual. We've got a Jay's Racing strap race. There's another work wheel in the back, and you can see the tops of the coilovers there. It's not a bad car. It's got a few marks on it, stuff like that, but it's supposed to be cheap. That's the idea of it. It's not got the perfect paint. The roof's got the bit of blistering, which is pretty factory on it. Someone's put super glue all over the back here to hold the Civic badge on, which looks terrible. Then they've tried to rub paint here, which I'll wrap that later. and I'll show you how to do that in a later video. I've also got a Mudgeon replica wing coming for it, which I'll do a video on how to paint it and fit it and all that sort of business.
Oh, here you are.
Okay, sorry about that. Kids are having a wobbly inside. We have underneath a Tagawa catback exhaust with a single exit on it, which I reckon's around about 8-9 kilos lighter than factory. I'm currently fitting a white line rear sway bar kit, but the U-bolts they've supplied me from White Line are too short. They look alright there, but as soon as you put the bush and the actual torsion sway bar in there, you can't do them up. Which I'm thinking I might actually just weld those brackets on. So I'll show a video. I'll actually weld them to the actual rear frame, because the U-bolts are only a mild steel anyway. They're not very strong. You can actually see the coilovers in there. I haven't done any headers on it, because all the headers that I've read, which are Tagawa ones and all that, all delete the cat. And they also they get a 5 to 10 horsepower gain, which to me is what you're going to get from deleting a cat anyway. And for $1,200, plus the fine that you get if you get caught on the street running without a cat, plus defect, all that business. So I think we'll leave that for now, and we'll get into some racing before we worry about doing any of those things. So if you like what you see, the build, I'll try and do an update maybe once a week on the car. A few jobs I've got to do to start with. I've got to do a fuel filter, which I've got to pull the center console out, which I'll show you how to do that. I've got to adjust the rear shocks. As you can see, that's how high they're sitting without the car even being on the ground, so I've got to drop them down a little bit. Otherwise it's going to just scrub everything. That's about it really. It's a shame at the moment because there's no racing on. Everything's been cancelled. So I thought I'd post some videos and inspire some people while we're on our lockdown. Anyway, if you like what you see, subscribe to the video, hit the like, and post comments what you want to see, what you might want to hear about the car, or any sort of jobs you want to know how to do on the FN2. I've been a mechanic for just over 20 years, and I'm pretty much specialised mostly in JDM stuff. And anyway, I'll catch you then. Cheers, bye.